On today's show, Luka Doncic completely broke the Washington Wizards. It was ugly. It was embarrassing. There were Bronny chants. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
DC family, you are locked on to the Washington Wizards, where you're part of our family. We thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team, free and available wherever you get your podcast every single day. And today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Alongside the DC sports content creating savant Abdullah Ayubi, I'm Ben Strober, and I cover the Washington Wizards for Roundtable IO. AB, there was definitely a basketball game here at Capital One Arena today.
Yeah, that was ugly. It was very ugly. But despite Luka Doncic having a triple-double before halftime, despite the Bronny chants at Capital One, Justin Champagnie had a poster over LeBron James. That's all I wanted, Ben.
Hey, might as well, we'll end the video right there. Nothing more to say. Just kidding. We'll keep going. And on today's show, I'll tell you why exactly Luka Doncic completely broke the Washington Wizards. He tore down everything they wanted to do defensively in this game, and it just snowballed from there, to say the least. We also tell you why Washington needs to have a top superstar player at some point in this rebuild. Because of what Luka did tonight, that is the proof in the pudding of what that does for your team. And then we'll give you an opportunity in the third and final segment to let it all out. And I'm sure there's some people with some thoughts on how today went. 142 to 111. Washington loses. Luka Doncic completely broke the Washington Wizards, and he did it from the get-go. 26-point triple-double in the first half of this game. AB, I'm going to give you a fact right here, and I want to get your reaction to it. There's only been 2 occasions in NBA history where a player had a 25-point triple-double at halftime. Luka Doncic is the only player to do it, and he's now done it twice.
Yeah, he is really talented, and now I understand why a lot of Maverick fans and our good friends Nick and Isaac from Locked On Mavs were frustrated when they traded him for essentially a bag of chips. He's a superstar. They have another superstar, even though he's old and LeBron James is 40 years old. He's still got some gas left in the tank, and if you're a Wizards fan, it just gives you hope that you're landing a guy that's playing tomorrow, BYU, Kansas, DeBonza versus Peterson. That's going to be a fun game. So I know today we got blown out, but tomorrow, BYU, Kansas, every single Wizards fan should watch that. But yeah, Luka Doncic, Ben, there's not really much else you could do defensively to limit him. He's just so freaking talented. He can score anywhere on the court, even probably behind the hoop. It's amazing how he just slows down the game, the pump fakes. Just, you saw the inexperience tonight when it came to being able to dictate how this Wizards team was trying to play defensively. They were trying to send double teams. Jameer Watkins did the best he could, but Luka Doncic is one of one.
I mean, they threw doubles at him, as you mentioned. They had no answer to stop him, and everything else broke down from there, because when you're throwing doubles at Luka, that made it easy for him to get his 13 assists tonight. 37 points, 13 assists, 11 rebounds, plus 21 in 31 minutes played. This is just a downright terrible defensive performance for Washington. Los Angeles shot 61% from the field in the game, 42.4% from three. And because Luka was doing so much damage, they're throwing double teams his way. It broke everything else down, allowed Ayton to get plenty of easy looks out of the pick and roll. Like, nobody was guarding anybody in the paint. I think the Lakers finished with well over 50 points in the paint tonight. LeBron got his, of course. Rui had 11 tonight. And honestly, just like amongst those players right there, they just made it way too easy. Washington made it way too easy on Los Angeles in this game, and Luka was the main reason why. When you have a guy that just commands that much respect from an opposing defense, and whether they put Jameer Watkins and Bilal out there, your 2 best defensive players, they couldn't do anything in this game. There was nothing they could do to stop Dončić, and everything else fall into place became because of that.
And this Lakers team just lost by 30 to Cleveland, so they were out there saying we got to bounce back, and no other way to do it than blowing the Wizards out by 33 points. At one point, this Lakers team was leading by 38, and you just saw the difference of talent between the Wizards and Lakers. And this Wizards squad, year 3 of a rebuild, you have to understand that there's going to be a lot of nights like this. It was a nice 2-game win streak for the tank crowd. I guess you're sleeping well tonight knowing that the Wizards didn't win another game. Have to check the Tankathon standings, but I'm going to say it one more time, guys, and I'm probably not going to say it again. Or I probably will say it again, but I'm tired of saying it. We are keeping our draft pick. Don't be worried about winning too much. We'll worry about that when the season comes to an end and that draft lottery is coming soon. We're hoping to land that top 4 pick. And landing a top 4 pick could essentially get you a caliber player like a Luka Doncic, like a young LeBron James. Obviously not the same value, but there's a guy that can change your franchise. LeBron James changed that Lakers franchise in a couple, I think he's in year 7, year 8, and they won a championship, bubble ring, whatever, you call it how it is. But guys like him, they don't grow on trees, and you have to find that type of talent in this upcoming draft. No Trey Johnson tonight. It was tough. Undermanned. Shout out to Trae Young, was wearing the Alex Ovechkin jersey. Actually, LeBron dapped up Alex Ovechkin, so that was cool. But just an overall way of thinking as a Wizards fan that in order for us to have some type of success like the Lakers are currently having right now, we need to land our star in the upcoming lottery.
It's a great point that you bring up with having that type of player that can just do this to a team the way Luka did today, the way LeBron has done it in the past, and the talent disparity was obviously on full display in this game. The way I looked at it early on, I could just tell that this young team, the youngest team in the NBA right now, they were completely overwhelmed by the star power that the Lakers provided. And the Lakers aren't necessarily an incredible team this year. They've had their blips. They just lost by 30 a couple of nights ago in Cleveland. They called it Donovan Mitchell's city, like a whole bunch of that, whatever. But the Wizards just look completely overwhelmed by the moment. You know, there's like basically a sold-out crowd, but it's mostly Lakers fans. They're going crazy every time LeBron touches the ball. They were chanting for Bronny. I think it's incredible that in under 24 hours, we went from let's go Wizards chants for the first time in years and defense chants for the Washington Wizards to Bronny chants, LeBron chants, Lakers chants, whatever you may be. And I feel like these young guys seemed a little bit overwhelmed by this moment because like you're playing in a road environment at home, and it's just a weird feeling. It was definitely like weird covering it because it was louder in this building when Bronny threw down a dunk than it's been the entire season for anything else. It's just so bizarre to me, but that's just what happens when the Lakers are in town, when LeBron's in town. That's the reality. It's a lot of bandwagon fans, but there's nothing you can do to control that other than put out a better product, and you'll have more home fans here. But the Wizards aren't at that point, obviously. It's going to take a little more time to get there.
I was going to say, Ben, that tweet that you put out before the game saying that I wonder if these Lakers fans will ever think about the fact that Dak will never get over the hump. That was funny. If you know, you know. But going back to the game, Sharif Cooper and Anthony Gill coming in early. Anthony Gill actually scored, I think, 6-8 points? So that was 9 points, 10 rebounds. Okay, so that's definitely a season high. You understand what the main theme is of the season for the Wizards, and you obviously are going to win maybe 10 to 15 games at most. Maybe you hit 18, 19, but at the end of the day, you're going to lose a lot of these games. And on a night like this, if you really expected the Wizards to win, I don't know what to say. It's just tough. And going back to the main point of this segment, I don't know how you can limit Luka Doncic, man. I really think there is no answer. The kid can do it all, and it's just amazing because it's not like he's so athletic. He has his athleticism at times and uses it, but it's not like he has a 40-inch vert like Zion Williamson is able to go past you with a quick first step like prime John Wall. It's just amazing watching him play the game, Ben.
And it's so funny that there were really people that messaged me and compared the Wizards trading Denny to the Mavericks trading Luka. That's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Denny Avdija is not doing what Luka Doncic did tonight. Maybe he will one day, but right now, no chance.
Not one day, Ben. I'm saying that right now.
I mean, you're probably right. Luka is a one-of-one player in this league. And today that was like the full pinnacle of that experience when you simply just understand that you sit back there and there's nothing you can do to try to stop it. You have to try different things, obviously. You have to adjust, but there's still nothing you can do to stop that guy. And that was the reality of the situation. The thing that you learn from an experience like this, AB, is that this upcoming draft is going to be so important that the Washington Wizards get the lottery luck they need because they need to find somebody that can be remotely close to that caliber of player. We talk about that next here on Locked On Wizards. There's nothing like being in an NBA arena. The crowd, the energy, the moment, when Bronny dunks the ball. Getting tickets, though, that part hasn't always been so simple. That's why Gametime has become the go-to app for scoring tickets fast without the hassle, and it puts the advantage back where it belongs with the fans. I love seeing the all-in price up front, no surprise fees at checkout when you're on Gametime, and you're able to see the view from the seat before you buy it, which makes your decision so much easier. These zone deals will stand out to you. You choose your section, Gametime picks the seats, and you save a ton of money. Great last-minute options, too, with NBA tickets showing up at solid prices right before tip. Everything feels quick, intuitive, and stress-free from start to finish. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today, and remember, it's gametime.co, not .com. So, AB, it's really Darren Peterson against AJ DeBonsa tomorrow, right?
Yes, that's going to be a lot of attention given.
Okay, well, if you're a Wizards fan, you need to watch that game. The main takeaway I'm going to give you is that you need to watch that game if you are a Washington Wizards fan, because you better hope the Wizards land one of those two guys in this draft. I know I've said that if you're in the top 5, you're good. I still believe that. But if you want who I think are the two guys with the highest superstar ceilings at this point upcoming in this draft class, those are the two guys right there. The Wizards need that type of player. You have a good thing going on right now, AB. Like, I love what the Wizards are building. You have buildable pieces here in DC. Maybe Sar can be like the 1A, 1B guy, but you need your dominant alpha superstar player. I think bottom line, you need a top 5 to 8 player in the league in order to win an NBA championship. And I don't think the Wizards have anybody right now that's going to be a top 5 to 8 NBA player in the league. I think that's a little bit unlikely right now. Maybe Sar would be your best chance at that, but I think still that'd be a little bit wishful thinking. I think Sar definitely has like the potential to be a top 25 player in this league at some point at his peak, and that'd be really awesome. That would be really good for this Wizards team in terms of what they're building, but you need that guy to get you over the hump.
Yeah, I think with Sar, I see the potential, Ben, and for him being able to be a superstar center in this league, offensively, probably have to average 20 to 25 points per game. And I think defensively, he's already there. And bringing in a guy like AJ DeBonsa hopefully could enhance the younger guys on the squad and their ability to play the game. And like you mentioned, there's a reason why I put out the whole idea of Giannis coming to DC, because you need a top 5 to 7 player in the league to win a championship. It's tough. For the Wizards, Alex Sarr's probably the only guy, and Keyshawn and Bub and all these other young guys, they can give you glimpses of really good role players essentially and really good starters for years to come, but you need an alpha. Every team has one. Look at the Thunder. They just won with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the core that they have around him. For so many years as Wizards fans, after John Wall, we just really didn't have that star. Bradley Beal scoring 30 points per game, it was awesome, I guess, but really weren't getting anywhere. And you're hoping that the lottery luck is on our side for the first time in a while. Because if not, we're probably going to have discussions like this for years to come, Ben.
Yeah, you don't want to have that. You want to eventually get to the point like where next year you're trying to take that step forward. You're not relying on the lottery to bail you out in the situation. Because now Washington, this is the 3rd year where you're really trying to take a crack at it in this lottery thing. And you got the number 2 overall pick, and you got arguably, I think you can say right now, between Castle and Sar, like those are the 2 best players in that class. And, you know, personally, I have the bias there, but I think Alex Sar is the best player from that class. So good. Like, the tank worked to perfection if you want to keep it like that, keep it a buck with how it went in 2024. 2025, you get Trey Johnson. Seems like a very good NBA player. Like, his ceiling is going to be a guy that can give you 20-plus a game, a couple of assists, and is going to shoot the 3 ball extremely effectively every single night. But you need the guy that has like the high ceiling. Cooper Flagg had 49 points last night, and I think he had over 10 rebounds or something as well. Like, Cooper Flagg obviously had the superstar potential. That's why he reclassed up a year to get into that NBA draft class. And Cooper Flagg, I think a lot of people still believe he'd go number 1 even this year, but there's more of a debate about that because this is a loaded upcoming class. You need a guy with that type of ceiling. AB, right now, are you AJ over DP for your number 1 guy right now?
Yeah, I've been AJ for a while, Team AJ for a while. Love Darren Peterson. His offensive game kind of reminds me of a Tyrese Maxey, but I think when it comes to impacting a game in all facets, AJ just checks off a lot of those boxes, and I think he would be a bona fide star here in the district alongside what you already have in Sar, in George, and Trey Johnson. For me, I don't want to have the idea of us saying Ben, and, even though we made a video about it, that top 5 will be okay. We need top 3. Obviously, need the idea of an insurance plan, but a guy like AJ will just speed up your timeline of contending, because it's next year's year 4, and if if luck isn't on your side, it's just going to become a repetitive cycle for us Wizards fans. And we love the vision that we have with acquiring Trae Young at such a low price and seeing development of Trey Johnson. But look at it, Cooper Flagg, 49 points at age 19. He is truly amazing. Con Knipple with 34. You need to find your alpha guy, and AJ is that guy. And I think he's going to have the better of DP tomorrow.
Yeah, and you make the point about, like, top 3. You need to be in the top 3, and I agree with you. Like, that is the ideal scenario. I think there's people out there that think top 2 is where you really need to be, because between Peterson and Devonsa, those are the can't-miss guys that will become superstar players. It was so random the other day. I was just scrolling on YouTube, and Darren Peterson's 7th grade highlight tape came up where he dropped, like, 92 points in the 2-game span. It was just really random, but I was like, wow, this video was posted not even 5 or 6 years ago, and here we are, like, having a conversation about why Darren Peterson can be, like, the savior of this franchise. You need somebody to save you at this point. I'm not saying, like, save you because this team is destined to tank forever. That's obviously not the case. I think next year should be a step forward. But if you want to be where the front office wants to be, they don't want to be mediocre. They want to contend. They want to have a legitimate contention window, and you need to find that type of player. The Lakers have that in Luka right now. They still have a lot of issues defensively, and I don't know how things are going to shape up in a really stacked Western Conference. San Antonio looks great right now. They have the player they need in Wemby, but they're young, so it's going to be hard for a team like that to win. Houston obviously has a lot of the pieces they need. They have Kevin Durant right now, who's like a veteran but was once the top 5 player, so maybe you could, like, make the argument for that. Denver, obviously, I give them the best chance out of anyone other than OKC to win because they have Jokic. Jokic is the best player in the world. And if you're asking me who I'm taking in a playoff series between the Thunder and the Nuggets, I think it's going to go to 7 games right now, because if you have the best player in the world, it makes that much of a difference in a sport like basketball. This isn't baseball where star power isn't everything. This isn't football where star power isn't everything. Star power is literally everything in the NBA when it comes to winning a championship.
Because one guy can dictate the whole game. He can take it over. And like you mentioned, football, hockey, team sport, there's no I. But in basketball, it's, hey, let me get the ball and move out the way. And I think AJ could be that guy here. It's funny to bring up Darren Peterson dropping 92 points. I just want to say, I dropped 110 points in my career game in 2K, Ben, but you don't see me being so braggy about it. I'm just joking.
What was your archetype?
Oh, stretch big. Oh, my God. In the corner, Ben, I would just call for the ball every single play. Didn't care about the teammate grade. I would let it fly. But
that's unrealistic, though. I thought you were a mid-range guy.
Yeah, in real life, I carry myself in different ways when it comes to IRL and 2K. But back to this upcoming draft and needing a star, Ben. I mean, you really want to see the potential of this young squad when you have a superstar like a AJ, like a Cameron Boozer. I'm gone to the idea where I love the fit aspect of Boozer and Sar would be amazing, but I'm all for BPA, Ben. Best player available in any type of draft scenario in all sports. And having a guy like Devonsa with a Trae Young who, honestly, Ben, if you had to guess quickly, we can talk about it. When do you see him coming back? I want to see how he plays alongside Sar, because hopefully those moments will give you glimpses of what it'll look like for next season.
So they'll reassess after the All-Star break, which was always the plan. And by reassess after the All-Star break, I feel like that means they'll announce, like, that he's out another 2 weeks maybe, because there'll be 29 games left, I think, after that point. Maybe you see him available and active for the final 15 to 20 games of the season, and maybe he sits back-to-backs, or he has certain nights where he sits out. That's kind of how I see it shaping up right now, but we don't really have any information on it, so that's all I can really give you.
I would figure, Ben, that he would want to come back against Atlanta. I think they play each other post All-Star break, so that would be fun to watch.
Yeah, we only play them. We play them 2 more times, right? I think we play them 2 more times.
I think, yes, because we play Eastern Conference teams 4 times this season, right?
Yeah, so we
Yes, sir.
finished up the season series with Milwaukee, 3-1 win for Washington in the season series. Just the 1 loss in the season opener. That's kind of crazy that it worked out like that. And you had Giannis playing in 2 of those.
I was going to say one thing, small thing, might not go in correlation with this video, or potentially could. If Giannis gets traded to the West, Ben, that just opens up the Eastern Conference. And this Wizards team, once they start winning, that's just another team that's not going to be competing with you.
That's a good point. I'm really curious to see how those sweepstakes shake up because I think somebody's going to give up a lot. Golden State could be part of those sweepstakes. I think from some of the reporting you've seen, Miami wants to go in on it, but there's some kind of like nonsense with their draft picks that might hold that up. There's a lot. I gotta go watch a podcast to like figure out everything that's happening with that. But if something does happen, we'll address it here on this podcast. All right, it is your time to shine after a 40-point loss. Sorry, that's 31 points, not 40. 31-point loss.
Same-ish, Ben.
Yeah, it kind of felt like 100 points, if I'm being honest with you. But we'll give you a chance to be the star of the show on the Locked On Wizards postgame show. Let it all out up next. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to get in on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're backing the favorite Seattle or riding with the underdog Patriots or building one last same-game parlay, this is the game that everyone's been waiting for. This is where predictions turn into plays, stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger. It's the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle. If you're a new customer, just bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count because after the Super Bowl, the season is over. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started today. Locked On Wizards post-game show. You know what that means. And today was the worst game the Wizards have played in quite some time. AB, what are people saying right now?
Yeah, it was. Well, I guess we'll start off with Locked On Law, of course. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, Law. We love you and every aspect of you supporting us. He says, the word A, the other 2 letters, performance. Nothing to discuss.
You can say that word.
Okay, we can. Just want to make sure. Ass performance, nothing to discuss. Again, it was kind of expected. Obviously, you wanted to be able to compete, but with no Trey Johnson tonight, who is a lot of your offensive game plan, it's going to be tough to beat a team that's carried by LeBron James and Luka Doncic. That's just the reality of the situation, Strober. Locked On Law also says Ayton was 12 of 14. Don't tell me Sarr is a center. There's going to be nights like this, guys. I think Alex Sarr, we've seen the highs and the lows, but there's going to be nights where he's going to struggle. And DeAndre Ayton, for as much criticism as he got with how his situation ended in Phoenix and how he's not really good, is a bust, really solid player. And when he has a guy like Luka Doncic, it enhances his game. And not just only DeAndre Ayton is the only big man, Jackson Hayes. Femgo says, you can't win them all. You definitely can't. El Chorizo.
And we don't want to win them all.
Yeah, we don't trust.
We don't want to win most of them.
El Chorizo's 202 says, ouch. 12 of 14, that's 85%. El Chorizo says a full-strength squad wouldn't have lost by 31. Yeah, maybe you lose by 15, 17 points, but again, at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. I
kind of disagree with that because you still had Bilal and Watkins, like your defensive stoppers out there, and like who was going to stop? Like Marvin Bagley being out there wasn't going to do anything else for you. What would that have changed?
I think a healthy Trae Young could guard Luka. I'm kidding. I am kidding.
Oh my God! I mean, it might even be worse. Even be worse.
Lay Hughes says, "LOL."
Well, Trey Johnson was not being out there offensively was a big difference
100%.
In this game. The fact that they were broken down so bad defensively, it bled into their offensive performance because it just looked lackluster. People are missing wide open shots. But Bilal was awful offensively in this game. Just looks where he was getting to the basket, unable to finish. He didn't knock down any of his shots from the outside. It was a bad offensive performance for Bilal. It was a bad offensive performance for basically everyone, if we're being honest. That's how it goes in these games.
Yeah, that's the reality situation right now. Do you think Trey plays on Sunday, Ben, or isn't really not an update?
There's no update. We asked Keith today, and he couldn't provide any kind of update. They're pretty cautious about these injuries, as we know, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's out again.
Yeah. All right, Uptown Dre. Yo, my brotherins. Muscle emoji. Yikes. Yikes indeed. Big J 52 says, chill. Those same Lakers just lost by 30, and they definitely bounced back tonight. Mike's 8248 says, Bilal Coulibaly needs to be somewhere else next season. Honestly, Ben, it's a roller coaster with him because from what I've seen, and I go back to the fact that I call him the most polarizing young prospect on this Wizards squad. At times, it's like, okay, he can be a really key piece here off the bench. He can give you really good defensive minutes, and he's awesome. He can clamp down guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo. But on a night like this where Luka's going to get his, LeBron's going to get his, and offensively he doesn't give you everything, you look at him and you scratch your head wondering where he'll fit when this team starts winning.
Tonight was definitely a night where you scratch your head a little bit and go, where am I getting the impact right now? Because he didn't have an answer defensively, and is that because he's not as good of a defender as we think he is? I don't think that's the case. Like, Luka Doncic is who he is. He is him. He's one of the best players in the league, one of the most talented scorers of this generation. And it's hard to ask of a guy to stop that, let alone a 21-year-old player. And Bilal has proven time and time again in other situations where he has been able to be that defensive stopper. So I'm not going to give him too much flack for a performance against this Luka guy that would not be stopped in this game. There was no stopping him. Do not get that twisted. There was not a chance they were stopping him.
No stopping him. You can just try, and I mean try, to limit him.
Trying is a trying is barely even a word you could use to describe it because it's just like trying doesn't even do anything.
Yeah, man. That was the first time, Ben, I don't know about you, but that was the first time watching LeBron in person, and the air just felt different. I hate to be the guy to say it, but it just felt like a different environment.
And it just because like the oxygen was just infested with like bandwagonness. Just breathing it in and the carbon dioxide.
I'm not even joking, guys. Like, he would literally pass the ball and people would lose their minds. It was like the treatment, and I grew up loving LeBron, but man, when it comes to LeBron Glazers, I'm probably at the bottom of the rankings because some of these dudes just go nuts for anything.
Dude, there are people here in full Laker uniforms. I was like, dude, they're not putting you in the game. You gotta chill wearing the full Lakers uniform right now. Like, I get the jersey, that's cool. Like, if you want to wear a Luka jersey, that's fine. But like, dog, like the gold and purple shorts and the basketball shoes, JJ Redick's not putting you in the game, dude.
Honestly, JJ, the way we were playing defense, could have put up 15 in his current state, Ben. No diss, but where fans meet. What's up, man? How you doing? Next year's starting lineup: Young, George, Johnson, Kessler, and DeBonza. How much stock do you put in the idea that Walker Kessler could be a Wizard in free agency, Ben?
So everyone's like, it's a restricted free agency, which means Utah can match it, which is obviously true. But if Washington has the financial flexibility to make an offer that blows Utah out of the water, then maybe that's something that truly does happen. I love the idea of it. I've been saying it for so long that you need to see another big guy play next to Sarr. And this is all going to happen after the draft as well. So depending on what happens in the draft, you can really make an informed decision based on what you need in fit. Draft to go best player available. Free agency is where you get your fit. Trade to get your fit. That's how NBA teams are built right now.
I like that. Why didn't I think of that? Draft best player available, fit, free agency. That's a good one, Ben. I got to write that down.
That's how modern sports teams are built. Like in football, I think you should take the best player unless you're a team that needs a quarterback or needs a left tackle. Like, football is a little bit different. Basketball, you need that star player. So no matter what position he is, if you have the first pick, you take the best player. Because if LeBron James is if you're in a draft class where LeBron is in there, but you already have KD on your team or something like that, then this is hypothetical like 10 years ago. You're like, oh, we really need a set. No, you take LeBron. You take the best player no matter what. I don't think anybody would disagree with that either.
Maybe MJ fans. Locked on Law says, I still think Boozer helps the team more right now based on the current roster. You might be right, Law. I still have to watch Cameron Boozer. For me, guys, I'll keep saying it. March Madness is when I truly evaluate all of these prospects because when the lights are the brightest, that's when you'll see who will shine. Lane Hughes says Trey has the potential to take over games down the road. I honestly, Ben, from what I've seen, Trey Johnson is the guy where when he's playing in the second half of the season, last second shots, it has to go to him. Early on in the season, we saw a lot of it from Chris Middleton, CJ McCollum, who's now with Atlanta. As much as I love Alex Sarr, I want to see Trey Johnson taking those shots, Ben.
I want to see that fourth quarter take. We haven't seen that yet. That's like the one thing we haven't seen is the fourth quarter takeover from Trey Johnson. He has some really big third quarters, and then you see him not play that much in the fourth or not even touch the ball much in the fourth quarter. So hopefully when he comes back, he's healthy. We can see a situation like that where he gets an opportunity to really take over a basketball game. That's like the one thing we haven't seen.
Yeah. Man, tonight's game, the fact that you won 2 in a row and get your butts handed to you by the Lakers, I'm excited for the fans coming back. Or actually, no, don't come back. Like, you guys are bandwagons. The real ones, they're going to enjoy that the fact that they went through this whole rebuild, and when this team starts competing, when they have a star hitting a buzzer beater in Capital One Arena. I mean, I was looking back at the tribute video last night, Ben, the John Wall night. You saw how many fans were exploding when John hit that shot against Boston Game 6. I want to go back to those vibes, and not just in the playoffs, in the regular season when this team is winning down the stretch of games, and that starts with landing a blue-chip player in this upcoming draft. And I think Will Dawkins, he has the ammunition to where maybe possibly you get your guy at top 5, top 4, and the draft capital you have move into the top 10, top 12. I was a big fan of Derek Queen. I know you are, Ben, that we could go up there and trade for him. Didn't happen, so maybe it might happen this upcoming draft because there's a lot of talent. We'll just have to see how it all pans out. This offseason, Ben, a lot of content is going to be made.
There's going to be endless things to discuss because it's going to be the most pivotal offseason in this Wizards rebuild, the most pivotal offseason in quite some time. All right, everybody, that'll do it. 31-point loss, so give you what you can in a situation like that. Try to take away something from this game, something from this episode. With that, we thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. Make sure you find us on Twitter at Locked On Wizards. You can find AB, the host of the DMV Sports Zone page, or you can follow me on my socials at Strober Sports. If you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Wizards ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to LockedOnWizards.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we send you the first ever 24/7 national NBA YouTube channel. If you're on audio, make sure your second listen is NBA Game Night on Locked On NBA, where they'll break down all of the action around the NBA on this Friday night. All right, DC family, for my co-host Abdullah Ayubi, I'm Ben Strober. Talk to you later.